also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. In that same conversation, she told me, players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them.
Kathy Engelbert needs to resign.
What if Caitlin Clark didn't destroy the WNBA, but accidentally pull the curtain back on problems the league has been hiding for years? Because right now, the league isn't just negotiating a new deal, it's fighting for control of its future. It's been nearly a month since the WNBA Players Association announced that its executive committee could call for a strike if negotiations with the league continue to stall. No deal, no progress, and now real conversations about a lockout or a strike are no longer hypothetical.
And being on this side with Unrivaled, I know what it takes to run a sustainable business. So I think if they can't find a model that makes it happen, they need to put people in place who can, because we've proven that it is possible. There is a way, and we're thriving in that. And so I do think a deal is going to get done, but we're standing firm in what we believe in. We're not going to back down, and we can't take less. The sport has just grown too much. It would be a disservice to the people who came before us, to the work that we've put in, to take less than what we're owed.
This is the biggest moment the WNBA has ever seen, and it's not something that can be messed up. And we're going to fight for everything that we deserve, but at the same time, we need to play basketball. That's what our fans crave, and that's what all of you crave as well. Is you want the product on the floor, and at the end of the day, that's how you make the money. That's how your market is. That's what the fans get excited about. That's what the fans want to show up for.
That's when one simple post on X lit a match under the entire debate. Caitlin Clark really might end up indirectly causing the WNBA to end. At first glance, it sounds outrageous. But what followed wasn't Caitlin hate, it was a brutal discussion about leverage, money, and reality. The user clarified what they meant. Caitlin Clark's arrival didn't just boost ratings, it rewrote the league's economic equation overnight. Viewership exploded, merch sales skyrocketed, attendance jumped in ways the league had never seen before. And suddenly, players realized they had leverage. 2 years ago, the dream was eventually reaching million-dollar contracts. Now some players are calling $1.3 million a slap in the face. Not because Caitlin demanded it, but because she proved the money exists. That's where things get uncomfortable, because while Caitlin brought the spotlight, the owners still negotiate like nothing changed. And some fans believe players are overplaying their hand, assuming the boom belongs equally to everyone.
The youngest players are me and Paige, Kiki and Sonia, we're sitting right next to each other and knowing they show us the numbers from 26, 27, they don't show you 30 and 31. And my mom told me when I was younger, they'll show you the money here, but what about the longevity of it? The players that are coming after us, next year's players. So I think it's really important right now. Obviously, women's basketball is skyrocketing, and it's important for us to get what we want.
One fan put it bluntly. There is truth to this. Other players think this is about them when fans and owners only see one marketable star. They're willing to blow it up because they overvalue themselves. Another asked the question no one wants to answer. The WNBA has never been consistently profitable, so where is this money supposed to come from? And then came the harshest take of all. The revenue these last 2 seasons happened in spite of most players, not because of them. Caitlin created momentum and others tried to derail it. That's the heart of the controversy. Not Caitlin Clark, not jealousy, not hate, but a league that wasn't prepared for an almost instant transformation.
So, it's business and it's a negotiation, and there has to be compromise on both sides.
On the flip side, many fans argue the owners are the real problem, hoping to pocket the benefits of Caitlin's rise while refusing to meet players halfway. And that's the irony. Caitlin didn't ask for this. She didn't demand a strike. She didn't force negotiations to stall. She just showed what the WNBA could be, faster than the system could handle. If the league and players reach a fair agreement, this moment will be remembered as growing pains. But if there will be no WNBA basketball this year, we won't be talking about Caitlin ending the league. We'll be talking about how the league failed to evolve when its biggest opportunity ever arrived. So, who do you think is mishandling this moment more? The players, the owners, or both? Comment below.
Beckers to go to work. Paige Beckers. Sidestep, three-pointer. Paige Beckers here at Sephora Arena. We've all been waiting for this. Paige Beckers.
As one of the best and most popular players in Unrivaled, it made sense for the spotlight to be on Paige Beckers' debut for Breeze. Luckily for everyone, she rarely disappoints. Breeze BC is a fairly young team with other players like Rakia, Kate Martin, who played last year, and Malonga, who's just 19 with great potential.
I think even tonight, like the other teams talking trash, talking to the refs, like these are kids, man. They don't need these calls. I'm like, kids, like don't disrespect. When the ball goes up, being able to hoop, there's no age discrimination. So like that's just how we feel.
In Team Breeze's opening game against the Phantom, Paige led all scorers with 24 points, grabbed 5 boards, dished out 6 assists, blocked a couple of shots, and wasn't afraid to put her body on the line for charge attempts. Beyond the numbers, her comfort level on both ends immediately stood out. Paige was asked how it felt making her debut on Unrivaled Season 2, and here's what she had to say.
That was really fun, super exciting. It's just a really competitive brand of basketball. It's basically one-on-one in space, so there's a whole lot of competing, a whole lot of talking trash, going back and forth, extremely physical. It's just really fun to play that way.
And when she was asked about the biggest adjustment she made from 5-on-5 to 3-on-3 ball, here's what she said.
Yeah, I think the physicality won. We all know that the W is physical, but Unrivaled I feel like is even more physical than that. And then not being able to have help side, like you're basically on an island. So at points, you're going to have to be okay with getting cooked, but that's not to say like you're not going to wear the defense with pride and try to just defend on the island and guard your yard and keep people in front of you. But at the same time, these are the best women in the world and you're competing against them. So that's a lot different for sure.
Candace Parker shared how this Breeze team impressed her defensively and how aggressive the young players are. And a compliment from Candace toward a Husky is not something you hear often. Paige mainly tailors her game around the mid-range, but she can score on all levels. This didn't change in Unrivaled. Renee Montgomery even joked about it, calling her the mid-range mommy.
Right now, you're the mid-range mommy.
No, yeah, I think it's going away from the game, so people don't really know how to guard it because not many people shoot it, not many people hunt mid-range shots. And I think it's the toughest shot in basketball to master. So to try from a young age to get to that, to get to the mid-range spot, make a lot of shots in that area, it's just hard to guard. And to be able to score at all 3 levels, it just makes you so much harder to guard.
Paige then went on to praise her 19-year-old teammate Malonga, recognizing how good she is at such a young age and how her future is just so bright.
It's just hard to believe that she's only 19 and like the future is just so bright for her. Like this is the worst she'll ever be and she's already amazing. And just I think what I've learned about her is her IQ for the game and how smart she is and how much she thinks ahead. And to be able to be that athletic, be that tall, defend 1 through 5, score in the paint, score outside, score in the mid-range.
In that first game against Phantom, we saw how good a young team really can be in the league, and we'll all be waiting to see what the Breeze team have in store for us.
Me too, girl. I'm like, if I miss, I cannot. Paige would never let me live that down. If I would have missed that free throw, all I would hear is Paige in my nightmares. Because she's a freaking troll.
Steph Curry doesn't need press conferences to make statements. He doesn't need captions. And he definitely doesn't need to say names out loud. When Steph wants to show love, he lets his actions do the talking. And lately, those actions have been impossible to miss. Earlier this season, Steph Curry showed up to a Warriors game wearing Angel Reese's Reebok signature sneaker, instantly sending sneaker culture, and the fans, into a frenzy. This wasn't a coincidence, it wasn't a stylist choice, and it definitely wasn't random. Angel had just launched her first signature shoe with Reebok, a massive milestone in itself. But seeing the greatest shooter of all time rock her sneaker on an NBA sideline, that was different. It was a huge level cosign. Steph didn't just validate Angel as a player, he validated her brand, her impact, and her place in the culture. And coming from someone who helped redefine what signature shoes even mean in modern basketball, that endorsement carried serious weight. But Steph wasn't done, because in like 10 days he did it again, this time with Caitlin Clark. In the middle of what fans have started calling his sneaker free agency era, Steph walked onto the floor at Chase Center wearing the Nike Kobe 6 Caitlin Clark PE. No announcement, no explanation, just Steph wearing Caitlin's shoe, and sneaker timelines immediately exploded. The Kobe 6 PE featured an icy blue colorway inspired by Caitlin's on-court identity, clean, sharp, and performance first. Subtle details, light blue accents, and that unmistakable Kobe silhouette. A quiet flex, but make no mistake, the message was loud. Steph Curry wearing Caitlin's PE wasn't just about aesthetics. It was a public cosign from one of the most influential athletes in basketball history. And he knew exactly what he was doing. On the court that night, although the Warriors lost to Atlanta, Steph dropped 31 points, adding 3 rebounds and 5 assists. In a league where sneakers are statements, Steph Curry chose to elevate Caitlin, a player whose impact has already pushed far beyond the women's game, just like Angel. And that's what makes this moment bigger than shoes. Steph Curry didn't just support one rising star, he supported 2, from different brands, different styles, and different narratives. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. 2 players often compared, often debated, often pitted against each other. Yet Steph treated them the same way, with respect, with intention, and with visibility. In a time when women's basketball is exploding into the mainstream, Curry didn't jump on a trend, he helped legitimize it. Not with words, but with action. And when the greatest shooter of all time chooses you, the basketball world pays attention. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. 2 cosigns, 1 message. The future is already here. And if Steph Curry is paying attention, maybe everyone else should be too.
The Young Bucks were hooping, man. They got so much skill. The league is just getting better and better at a younger age, and so it's pretty cool to see like younger people wearing that uniform. For so long, you've seen the same faces, heard the same names, and so to integrate new faces, new names, and younger talent is really cool to see, and I'm excited for it.
When one of the best guards in WNBA history says she's learning from rookies, you stop scrolling. And when Chelsea Gray names Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark, that tells you everything about where women's basketball is headed. This past December, Team USA held a training camp at Duke, not just to prepare for the present, but to evaluate the future. Chelsea Gray was there, one of the 4 2024 Olympic gold medalists at the camp. Surrounded by the next generation, Paige, Caitlin, Angel Reese, and more. With Kara Lawson and Sue Bird watching closely. The message was clear. The future of USA team is already taking shape. To understand why this matters, you have to understand who Chelsea is. 4-time WNBA champion, 2022 Finals MVP, 6-time All-Star, 3-time All-WNBA. She's been elite for over a decade, so when she says she's learning from younger players, that's not hype, that's respect. Speaking on Sports Illustrated's Around the W, Chelsea Gray said the young players brought new things to the court. They can add to my bag. She talked about a move Paige pulled off in practice. an in and out into a hook layup. Chelsea's reaction? I'll try that. I'll add that to the bag. A finals MVP learning new moves from a younger guard. Let that sink in. Then Chelsea turned to Caitlin Clark. And this part matters. She talked about Caitlin's range, her ability to shoot off the dribble from anywhere. And Chelsea said, I want to get better. Off the dribble. Think about that. One of the most skilled guards ever wanting to evolve because of players like Caitlin and Paige. That's not normal. That's generational. If anyone needed more proof that Paige Beckers and Caitlin are different, Chelsea Gray just provided it. Championship veterans don't usually just say this out loud, especially at the guard position, where experience usually wins. But Paige and Caitlin, they're not just talented, they're pushing the game forward. Now, not everyone from this camp will make the 2026 World Cup or the 2028 Olympic roster. Veterans like Paige, Sabrina Ionescu, and Nafisa Collier will always have a spot if they want one, even though they weren't at Duke. But timing matters. The 2026 World Cup takes place in Berlin, right before the WNBA playoffs. That's a lot of miles, a lot of wear, right before the most important stretch of the season. Some veterans may choose to sit it out. And if that happens, the door opens. It opens spots for younger players, players who may not be deep in the playoff picture. And that's why Paige, Caitlin, and the other young players may be in a good position. They've earned trust, they've earned respect, and they've impressed Olympic champions. When Chelsea Gray says, I want to add that to my bag, that's not just praise, that's a signal. The next era isn't coming, it's already here. If Paige and Caitlin are already changing the games of legends, imagine what they'll do once the keys are fully theirs. Comment below.